See, this is where, we keep warning you. The elections is this week. It's this week itself. At the time of this recording, depending on when we air this, we may have gone past the elections, or the elections might be on the day, or maybe before that. It's very important that you get out and vote, and hopefully you get this message prior to that. But this is the things that are happening, and I keep mentioning this constantly. There are bills out there from time to time. You have to read them. You got to make sure what's in them. You can't go by Nancy Pelosi. Oh, you got to pass it so you can read it. No, we have to know what's in it and read what's on there and what they're trying to do. See, now you've seen a lot of stuff where they're trying to bring in filters into computers and cell phones and laptops and tablets, basically saying, oh, well, we're going to ban this one particular subject, but that's it. But that doesn't stop them from defining what porn is. And that's the scary part, is when they try to redefine certain words so it politically helps them censor certain things on the internet that basically, technically it's not porn. They want to censor voices. They want to censor entertainment. This is the new Puritans. These are the people that are the most dangerous people on the internet right now. And this is happening in the US. It's happening all over the world. We have to stop it here. We have the chance because we have the Constitution behind us and the Supreme Court. And we need to fight every day for it. But before we get into this article, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. Hopefully by now we've hit 600. Last time I looked, we were at 10 down, 9, 10. Hopefully we have already passed that. Thank you for those of you who have been there, that have subscribed, that have shared and liked and commented. Thank you for your comments too. I do really appreciate it. I mean, some of them, especially the BitChute ones, are a little bit racy. They say, let's keep the language, if you want to say, if you're on BitChute or something, you want to say certain words like fuck on there. Yeah, but let's keep the things tamed down and stop blaming minorities and stuff like that. And this is not only blacks; they're trying to blame a lot of others, because I know there are some out there that just basically they're upset to the situation. I do respect your opinion, but let's try to be civil to the situation and think about what you're saying, because it doesn't reflect to the subject matter we are discussing. So out of XBiz, Missouri State Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft seeks to redefine SMUT. And before we go further on this article, and it's probably in this article also, let's look up at the meaning of SMUT. There are several meanings. There are three. The first is a small flake of soot or other dirt. 2, a fungal disease of grains, I never even heard of that, in which parts of the ear change to black powder. And then the one we're going to be concentrating on today, obscene or lavish talk, writings, or pictures. And let's read into this out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Missouri State Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft this week attempted to clarify his position proposal ban on funding for what's called Puritan library books, or explaining that he means SMUT. Ashcroft, a Republican whose father, John Ashcroft, served as Attorney General under President George W. Bush, and a member of an influential conservative legal organization, the Federalist Society, has been vague about what standards he intends to apply in determining whether books are Puritan, a concept central to its legal differentiation between obscenity and free speech protected under the First Amendment. The Missouri Library Association said in a statement that it considers Ashcroft's proposal rule that infringement on the professional judgment of libraries and an effort to further stoke the division in the communities that libraries serve, the St. Louis Business Journal reported. When pressed for details, Ashcroft admitted that he does not currently have a list of Puritan books, which he refers to as SMUT. However, he claimed to have seen books written for tweeners displayed in libraries near a computer intended to be used by young children. According to the report, neither tweener nor SMUT are legally recognized as categories of personal content. See, this is where we get to the point that using the children's situation. Yes, there are books in libraries and school libraries and regular libraries that should not be in the children's section. I agree 100% on that. You should not be having books that are geared for young children, that, you know, kindergarten, grades 1 through 7, that talks about blowjobs, that talks about sex, transgenderism, LGBTQ variants. They are too young to understand that. This is the thing, it's on there. But you have situations where they're going to use that thing to ban other books that basically they deem offensive in the libraries, and not in the only in the children's library, in the adult library as well. Ashcroft's proposal rule states that no funds shall be received shall be used to purchase or acquire materials in any form to appeal to a prudent interest of any minor. This would essentially constitute a redefinition of the term Puritan, which bears a very specific legal meaning. Industry attorney Lawrence Waters of the Waters Law Group explained to XBiz in 2020 that that the word Puritan is defined in the law as a shameful or morbid interest in sexuality. Walters pointed out that obviously in adult business that take that position, that their content does not involve a shameful or morbid interest in human sexuality, but a healthy one. The Latin verb purere literally means to itch. According to the etymological sources in the mid-1600s, the term Puritan poetically shifted, meaning in English from itching to having an itching desire. It is only a century later, in the 1750s, that the word gained puritanical connotation of lavish and lewd. And that's the other thing, they're trying to change lewd as well. In Puritan Interest, that 2002 column on NPR's Fresh Air program, UC Berkeley information studies scholar Jeffrey Newberg pointed out that the difficulty of building law around obsolete words that few people can define properly. The Miller test, and let me give you an explanation for the Miller test. The Miller test that's for obscenity includes the following criteria: whether the average person applying contemporary community standards would find that the work taken as a whole appears to Puritan interest, whether the work depicts or describes in a patently offensive way sexually conduct specifically. And this is the thing that they do. They want to change these things so they're able to control what you read on there, and in fact what you watch as well. Reading on, that formula known has been widely used ever since then. Last week, Utah Representative Ken Ivory demanded a total reversal of the last 50 years of legal and juridical precedents, dismissing the Miller test, which has been the nation's legal standard for half a century, as mere the options of a few Supreme Court justices at that time. In some cases, you have to look at the book to determine whether it's Puritan, Ashcroft declared. In some cases, you don't have to look for it very long. Ashcroft's assertion seems to harken back to the pre-Miller, and I know it when I see it, standard of defining obscenity, the vagueness of which ultimately led to Miller's test. Ashcroft is expected to run for Missouri governor in 2024. His father, John Ashcroft, is enshrined in free speech legal history as a losing party of the Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition Supreme Court decision, which declared in 1996 censorship law that banned all porn in the name of fighting child pornography to be unconstitutional and overbroad. The elder Ashcroft track record as an anti-sex crusading, including the notorious 2002 incident when he ordered his department to spend $8,000 on blue drapes to hide two giant aluminum Art Deco statues of particularly nude women in the Great Hall of the Department of Justice because he didn't like being photographed in front of them. See, here's the thing, and this is father like son. This is not removing books that do not belong in the children's library. They're trying to get rid of the Miller's test. They're trying to redefine smut, porn, all these words, so they're able to ban what they can. And let me tell you something. If you look at the history prior to the Miller test, this is the joke, and I'll bring this up. This is like the joke, talking about the statues. This is the same thing. If you saw the Simpsons episode, I'll bring this up again. The Itchy and Scratchy episode where Marge got them to ban the show, tame it down because basically of the violence. Then the same group that was marching with Marge came to her to get her to lead another march against the Statue of David because, if you ever seen the Statue of David, he has his privates out. But that's a work of art. And Marge agrees, it's like a work of art, and the people are like, oh, I knew it. She's just a one round, This is where where the Constitution needs to be protected when it comes to situations like that. When they said, well, we want to redefine this. Why do you need to redefine it? There was nothing wrong with it to begin with. Well, we're trying to protect the children. If you want to protect the children, okay, here's the situation. Parents on top need to protect their children. If they do not want them to see porn, then they have the right for them to reject books. They have the right to try to block certain websites from their computers, their laptops. And it's a little bit, like I said on Mad Man Cafe, there are difficulties to block everything. You can't block TikTok. You can't block Facebook, Twitter, because those are things that basically, that's a whole site on there. You can block the whole site, but, the content within it, it's just basically, you just can't block the content within it. You would have to block the entire site, which in TikTok situations, I rather on there because of the situations we know of it. But like I said, the Ashcrofts have been doing this before. This is not something uncommon. They've tried to do it. This is the Puritans on the other side of the aisle, that I keep talking about. They keep saying, oh, we're here to help and stuff like that. You can't trust all your politicians. You have to understand what they believe. Is it for you? They work for you. They work for me, not vice versa. All these bills, this is not what the general audience in this country is looking at. This is not what they want. This is pure censorship. This is the bills that are trying to sneak in again. We talked about this before, where they're trying to put porn filters on, a bill to push that onto there, and those right there, it violates the Constitution. It opens up a hornet nest of constitutional law. They will violate the Constitution to get what they want. Again, elections are very important. Depending on when you saw this, I hope you either going to the election booth or have chosen wisely. Because we're going to have to deal with this for the next couple of years. 2024 is going to be the next big one that's going to come across on there. So tell me in the comments below your thoughts, your feelings. Let me know there, do you think this should go through? Are you against this? Yes, we're trying to protect children, but this is not the way to do it. The first way to do it is not to allow these books in children's libraries. If you want to put it in the library, you can put it in the adult section of the library. You can have it in the library. I'm not talking a ban of it, just a ban in children's schools and children's libraries. This is, they're allowed to speak whatever they want to speak in these books, that's Constitution, but children should not be reading it. When they are of age, when they're in their teens, in high school, they're allowed to read it. I wouldn't let kids read a Catcher in the Rye in grammar school. In high school, yeah, that's fine. And many other novels, this stuff, kids are kids. Let them fucking grow up, please. They need to grow up. They need to learn on their own on things. When they're adults, when they're closer to being an adult, then they can make their own decisions as far as what direction in life they want to go. So don't forget, comment below, subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.